Hey everybody, this is Seth, Keeping It Real. Today is a marathon for me. I am conducting 2 interviews, and I'll be in an interview. And then tomorrow, I am doing an interview and being in an interview. So this is a very full day, but I am excited because the first interview of today is Barbara. And Barbara is going to be speaking at our conference in Las Vegas, which we're super excited about at the summit. She has really unique experience when it comes to selling on Amazon. If you guys have ever tried to expand beyond Amazon to other platforms like Jet or Walmart, this is Barbara's specialty. And she even built a company around teaching how to do this. And as you guys know, Just One Dime is about one thing. If we can bring you value and do it in a way that is as interesting as possible, that's all we care about. And that's what our goal is with the summit. At the summit in Las Vegas, when Barbara's teaching, our goal is 2 things. We want it to be super engaging and helpful, and tons of content so you guys can take that and apply it and succeed. So Barbara, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here on the Just One Dime show.
Oh, I'm really excited that you're having me on. It's great. Thank you.
And you are in the amazing state of New Jersey. Say something with a New Jersey accent. I want everyone to hear a New Jersey statement.
Coffee. Let's see. Wash. Coffee.
What is wash? Is that like a
That's wash. Southern Jersey adds an R in there for some reason. And
say water.
Flour. I'm told I say flour instead of flour.
Okay.
And I know and then the coffee. Water? No, I think I say water the same way as water.
Some people you said I say water the same way some people say water. I hear
Okay. It's a little truncated then.
You can add that to your list of New Jersey phrases that you have. So
I've got water, wash. Okay, I got it. All right.
Yeah. Some people ask me, what is my accent? I don't know if I even have an accent because I was born in Texas, grew up in California, spent time in Michigan, and I've been to multiple countries, and I've studied a lot of languages, so I don't even know what it is. Every now and then I'll say something really weird. My wife will look at me and go, what? Like the word for, boy, I'm going to say it wrong now. I call them crayons, but they're supposed to be crayons or crayons. So my wife's family says it as crayons. I say crowns, like we put something in your head, but I think the proper word is crayon. How do you say it? I'm curious.
Crayon.
Yeah, you probably say it right.
And we have the factory about 20 minutes from our house, the Crayola. I think because it's Crayola, crayon makes sense.
Okay, so that legitimizes you. Since you have the factory, you're definitely saying it right. You can say, no, we say it right. The factory's in our state. That's super
well, it's in Pennsylvania because I don't want to get anybody correcting me. But yeah, it's just, you can drive to it. We've taken the kids there on trips and stuff.
Hey, I want to say hello to everyone who's here. Random Stranger, Datpad, Kyle, Walter, Sean, Amazon Deals, Rifster, Biendra, Yeshi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm very excited that we're here. Oh, Kyle, your wife says crowns? Well, tell her thank you for being another person in the world who says it the right way. Barbara, I'm so excited about this because not only are you going to be at the summit, but people get to see you and meet you a little bit and just talk to you today about what you do. So I'm going to start by sharing a little bit that I know about Barbara, and then Barbara, I'll let you take it from there and teach whatever you want. So Barbara, and Barbara, do you like to go by Barb or Barbara?
Don't care.
You don't care? Okay.
No.
I'll just call you Barbara then for now. Maybe over time I'll call you Barb. So Barbara, she left the corporate life to co-found a company called Co-Merchant. And what this company does is they're the easiest, fastest way to list and fulfill your inventory that you're selling on Jet and Walmart marketplaces. So you're not just listing it on Amazon's platform, you've now differentiated yourself on other platforms. Barbara, a lot of people ask me the question, why do you sell on Amazon and teach on Amazon and do real estate and all these other things? And I said, because I want to differentiate myself. I want multiple streams of income. And the more you can make those overlap and serve each other, you guys, the more money you can make. Let me just give you guys a quick example. So we have done a whole lot of Airbnb real estate. And we learned a system. One of the most difficult parts is because it's a short-term rental, you have to have people come in and clean those condos or those homes or those apartment complexes for you at a very odd time of the day. Usually it's going to be between noon and 3 p.m. because usually that's the time when people, the beginning when they leave and then when the next people check in. But to do that, it takes out 3 hours out of your day every single day if you have multiple homes that you're renting out. You know, people, if they're staying for 1 to 6 days, you know, on some days you might have 4, some days you might have 5. Back years ago, I would drive around and do it myself. Sometimes I'd have to bring the whole family with me because we had so many to do. Then we found someone, we hired them, and she would manage the whole process for us, and all we had to do was manage the communication. Then I thought, wait a minute, what if, since we have learned really well how to automate cleaning these in a way that's efficient and still cost effective so that the cost is not so high that we lose our profit, what if we provided this service for other people? And so now we're in the process of thinking through what would that look like. That's an example, you guys, of overlapping. You're making money in real estate. You've learned how to run the cleaning process, the setup process. Why not turn this into a monetizable source of income as well? It's the same thing I've done. Selling on Amazon, teaching on Amazon, selling on eBay, teaching on Amazon, and then as Barbara is doing, 3 marketplaces. So could you just expound a little bit, Barbara? In fact, let me start with this question. Why do you recommend someone not just sell on Amazon? What are the biggest risks for only doing that, and why would you encourage them to expand beyond that?
Well, it's probably best if I give you a little story. I can give you all these platitudes and everything from corporate life and how one needs to think about diversification and leveraging your investment, but it really comes down to at least what was the shining light for me is I was single-threaded on Amazon. That was my only platform. We were doing a great business selling handwork. I had 15 people shopping for me. They would go out and do retail arbitrage. You know, this guy had this zone, she had that zone. This one specialized in garage sales. This one specialized in this, whatever. And so it was crazy, and it was like so exciting. And I was like, this is great. I can name my game. If I want to work Friday, I do. If I don't, I want to leave early, whatever. That's the beauty of not being in corporate land anymore. And it took a long time for me to make that change. I was doing 2 full-time jobs for a while before I felt comfortable enough to go and do Amazon fully. I knew I was getting laid off. I said, okay, then that's it. And then I woke up one day and there's a little red flag in my Amazon Seller Central page. And I was like, what's that?
Our favorite see in Seller Central.
Yeah. I have there's a group, the Seller Success Group, and they send all their messages through there. So I have, and they're good messages with a heart attack red flag on them. But this case was not good. I was suspended, and it was like, if there's a digital punch in the face, that's a digital punch in the face. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. I hired Cynthia Stein. She helped me get back on, but it took 3 weeks. And honestly, best 3 weeks of my life ever in terms of, couple days crying. I cried a couple days, but it was a really good best thing that ever happened, because I just woke up and I realized I'm only selling on Amazon. I am the opposite of diversification. And you have to understand, I worked in finance, so I knew how important it was not to have all your eggs in one basket. And you know, I gave myself 2 days to lick my wounds, and then I thought, okay, you know, I've outsourced this project to get me reinstated. She says everything looks good. My infraction was so nominal and wasn't even real. I was doing something they said was counterfeit, and it wasn't. But she goes, we've reinstated people who are doing bad things. You're fine. It's just going to take some time. So I trusted in her and I moved on. I said, well, all right, what have I done? What am I learning from this experience? What have I done wrong? I have no income right now because my business is shut down. So I have a couple options. I can go back to corporate land. Oh no, I did not want to do that. I was like, let's look at whatever else I could do. And I said, all right, well, what can I do? What have I not done? What are my issues? I'm 100% retail arbitrage. That's probably, what am I doing 100% Amazon? What am I doing 100% that should not be Amazon, should not be 100% anymore, and how am I going to change it? So I was immediately back on eBay. I had an eBay account for a number of years. That's how I started. I got everything back on there. And I thought, well, I need to do a couple things. I need to deleverage how much retail arbitrage I have, because it's risky. You know, you're doing different things every day. You don't know the products like you know something you sell the same thing of day in, day out. Sure. Not that you can't do it, but it can't be 100%.
Very good point.
what else? It can't, so I should do wholesale. It has its own problems, but I said, all right, let me look at that. I'm going to look at my business as a portfolio. Like you said, so where do I have strengths? Where do I have weaknesses? How do I diversify? So that year and the year after became a year of diversification. By the end of the year, we were 60% wholesale and 40% retail arbitrage. We were selling on eBay, Amazon, and had, I believe, just started selling on Jet, and there's a longer story there. We started looking at private label. We started looking at other ways to utilize the two things that our investments were. We had a lot of investment in knowledge and a lot of investment in product. Well, the product's easy. I need to spread that around different places. But how am I leveraging what I've learned in knowledge? And this is what everybody needs to think about. It's not just about working hard and, it's working smart and saying, okay, I have one item, and maybe I have 30 or 40 of them and I'm selling them in one place. I've already done the sourcing. I've already done the listing. I've already done the research and the profit analysis on. I've done all that. I just need to rinse and repeat so that I'm doing something. I'm working smarter. I'm leveraging. So that's basically how, I went from, as someone said, you are the most amazing pivot story I've ever heard. Other people would have just laid there, and it took them 3 weeks to reinstate me because it took them that long to read the reinstatement email. And then I was back up in I think it happened, they read it on a Friday, asked me one question, I was back up on Monday. So, but having that 3 weeks to really, you always wish, at least I do, I wish the world would just stop and I could keep running. So like everything freeze and then I have all this extra time.
Right.
It doesn't ever happen, but it happened there in a sense because I had really, I have nothing to do. So it was huge.
Did you analyze where you're at, where you want to go?
Really just like all the noise stopped and I could really look at things. And now, like I said, it's the best thing that ever happened. We're selling on all those platforms. We talked to some of our vendors and got them to give us exclusives so that we're the only ones selling, certain products that have their branding on them. We're developing our own private label. It just was almost like it was a total game changer, a total level up. I remember Mario Brothers and the little Mario would come out and there'd be a little I think his little square and you hit it and it leveled up to the next thing, and that really took our game way up.
My head still.
Yeah, and it's something I had a lot of skills, I had a lot of strategy, a lot of analytics, and I wasn't a chicken. I was going to say a bad word. I was brave. So take these things, look at what you're good at, and start thinking about, all right, I know the space, I know Amazon really, really well. Yeah. The rest of the world's not that different, and I don't need to work as hard as I work at point one all the way through the system.
It's been said so many times, and I believe it's true. The very best products and the best businesses are built out of a personal need. Obviously, the danger is subjectivity, because how do I test with the market? But chances are, if you struggled with something and you had to figure out your own solution, there's probably a million other people who went through the same thing. So if you can take that and turn that into value for other people and monetize that, that is a valuable business. Because all business is, you guys, it's just bringing value to people. I got to meet with one of our Just One Dime members this morning, and we talked about this. And it was kind of funny because he goes, I want to bring value to you. How can I bring value to you? And then later in the conversation said, so I have one question. How can I bring value to you? And it suddenly hit him, wait a minute, he asked me the question I always ask him that I like to ask other people, but that's how businesses think, you guys.
How can I help you?
Right, because oftentimes I think new business owners are thinking, well, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Now, yes, you need profit to do it, but no one's going to give you a dime, pun intended, until you bring them value. Some people ask this question. When I went out and I started with a dime, we were $24,000 in net, just started doubling it, just started asking people. And they would ask me this question, Barb. They would say, why would someone double your dime when you're giving them nothing in return? The problem with that question is it assumes that the only value in the world is money. Money's one of the values. What I was doing is giving them a picture of where we would like to go. I was letting them become part of a journey. Right. That's also value, you see? So guys, when you do this, understand value doesn't just come in the form of cash. It comes in thousands of different ways. And what Barb just talked about is the value of knowledge. With knowledge, you can make money. With money, you can also do other things. Start seeing all of life as all these different values. How can I leverage these for myself, but especially for others? When you help others, it will take care of your pocketbook over time if you do it the right way. Now, there's something, Barb, I want to mention. It's rarely mentioned, I believe, in our circles. And I think it's so important. Let me start by speaking for myself. I have this word called corporocracy. I think I made it up. I don't know if anyone else uses it.
I don't think that's a word, but I think it can be.
You know exactly what it means, don't you? And the idea is all the BS, all the political correctness, the butt kissing that goes on in corporations, I wanted to get away from that.
Yeah.
However, what's often not talked about is there are still some really good things I learned when I was at Apple. And I didn't realize it until I started my own Amazon businesses and started selling on eBay, and then started working with other people and doing partnerships for multiple Amazon stores, and then building a coaching company. And I'm going, wait a minute, how do I know how to fire someone's butt and to hire someone? Like, where did I learn that? Oh, that's right. Apple asked me to be part of the hiring department, and I had to deal with difficult employees and fire them. I learned a ton.
Right.
So I want to thank Apple for that. The political correctness stuff I was in, I hated that. I don't respect it. But there's other stuff that was super viable. So let me ask you this, if you don't mind. I know you have a background in, let's see, finance, e-commerce, and what was the other one? Project management?
Product development, I guess you would call it, yeah.
So tell us just a little bit, how did your background help with what you know today? I want to speak to that because I think it's avoided. Like, you know what I mean? Like in these circles, we're like, hey, yeah, corporations. But there is some value there that helps us today to run a business. And I want to encourage everyone here, if you are in a 9-to-5 soul-crushing job, at least ask this, what am I learning so I can take that and use it in my Amazon, online, Jet, eBay, Walmart businesses, leverage that knowledge. Don't throw the whole thing out. Take what's valuable. But back to you, Barb. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I worked in corporate America, it was huge. I probably had, I was a senior director of finance, VP of finance for a long time in a recession. So if there's ever a school of crushing learning, or learning under pressure, that's it. Because when the businesses aren't selling and they aren't making money, they look to you and say, how can we make up our gap? And that's when problem solving and creativity which are the same thing, by the way. People go, I'm not creative. I'm like, if you're an entrepreneur, you are by definition creative, because you have to find problems. And all creativity, yeah, you can say painting and everything, but that's just an expression of a problem, of something in your head that you see that you want to express. And similarly, when you're looking at a problem, you're creatively trying to figure out, or maybe strategically or analytically, but creatively trying to figure out, how can I look at this a different way, and solve for it. And when you're at work and it's, my mom had a great phrase, you're there anyway, do something. Don't just sit, like, lean against the wall. Yeah. I think my sister was a waitress in high school, and she was leaning against my mom, because you're there anyway. Clean a table, make an effort, talk to somebody, use the time. And for me, when I was in corporate America, I worked with a boatload of smart people. And probably what I miss more than anything else is, while I work with a lot of people in my day-to-day, they're not just these constant, ebb and flow of different departments and different people. And just really, I worked at Orbitz, I worked at Dun & Bradstreet. I worked at a lot of companies where there was a lot of smart people and a lot of big issues to solve and a lot of businesses to build. So it wouldn't be unusual for me to get, like, when I was doing my product dev role, they're like, listen, we have all this information for lawyers. How can we package it for them that makes it easy and helps them market themselves? And how do you work that? And I came back and said, well, they need to have a way to do, to be able to market themselves dynamically to different people looking at them. If they are maybe they have 5 or 6 disciplines in the law firm. When somebody's looking at this discipline, they have to show a different light. So we had to help them populate that. It was a bit of a digression, but you get my sense is that by being in a corporate world and putting yourself out there and making every day count, not just phoning it in, and I think that's a good recipe for life, you're going to learn something. And you think that there was somebody who used to work for me, and we had a management change. We had them all the time, which is part of your corporate, I can't say it, corporate ocracy. Where all of a sudden there's, a whole new,
I want to hear
Yeah.
you get the New Jersey ready.
Bullshit.
There you
That's
go.
what we say in New Jersey. It's bullshit. It's crap. You know, it's just like
There you go.
crapocracy. And when we had a change of management, and he was expecting to get promoted, and he basically had a setback because people who wanted that he needed to impress weren't there anymore, and he had to start from scratch. He says, "Well, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to get another job." I'm like, "Listen, you don't have a job yet. You're sitting here. Don't just phone it in. Work hard and try to impress him while you're here. You may leave and get another job, but maybe in the interim he sees something." The guy chose not to do that because he was so irritated that he had worked so hard and he's a setback and everything. He ended up going to another company and getting laid off in 6 months because of the recession. And, you know, and he and I talked afterwards, and I said, "I don't want to say I told you so, but I did. And you should, not that you should have said you might have got laid off here. Who the heck knows? But you wasted, the thing that was important there is you wasted time. You chose to just come in and, you know, look at your watch till it was time to leave. And you could have learned some stuff. You could have done some good projects. You could have done things that would have enhanced the resume, enhanced the skill set. And, you know, there's nothing, to me, there's nothing worse than phoning it in and just being there. If you're going to be there, do a good job.
I agree. All right, super tactical question. How does one start? What would be your advice for someone who wants to start on Walmart or Jet? What are the first steps you'd recommend they take, especially for someone who is selling in Amazon, they have some knowledge, now they need to transfer that knowledge over here and then add a few things. What would be your first suggestion?
Well, first, there's some very simple things, like you've got to go apply and get approved. It's not like Amazon where you type your credit card in and you're done, or eBay, you type your credit card in, and maybe you get an email in a few hours. Jet and Walmart, for whatever reason, and Walmart used to be really severe about this, and they've loosened the reins a little bit. You know, they only had like a handful, and then a few more third-party sellers. You have to apply and get approved, and what they're looking for are business people. They're not looking for somebody who goes to the garage sale and, you know, has used stuff and does it on, you know, like, oh, the kids are at school today, I'm going to go take a ride. They're looking for people who are in it to win it, in it for business, and have, you know, what the definition of customer service is, know what the definition of good packaging is, you know, basic business stuff that, you know, pretty much Amazon's looking for the most part. And I think that world's getting tighter and tighter as well as to what they require. I would not be surprised in the not too distant future that Amazon draw some really hard lines on some stuff, on the used stuff, on the new that really isn't new stuff is going to get much more severe. But that's what they're looking for. They're looking for business people. And each of those marketplaces is a little different. So when you're looking at Jet and you're thinking about Jet, I find that the most successful people in our world are people who can do complementary products. So one of the strengths of Jet's platform is filling the cart out. So, for example, I sell a lot of beauty products. We sell soap, we sell lotion, we sell shower gel, all in the same scent, all in the same line, maybe about 40 products altogether. And we have a lot of different stuff, but that's one of our strong products. And routinely, and like my average selling price on Amazon is about $25. On Jet, I can do a 200 order regularly. Now, it's not the same, it's not as big as Amazon, you know, it's still growing, it's startup like, it's a percentage of what Amazon is, but I'm leveraging that product that I've already got at Amazon. I've now listed it on Jet, and someone's going in, oh, I love the Gardenia hand wash. I'm going to get, oh, if I get 2 of those, I get a discount. If I get the shower gel, they're going to give me another discount. If I waive my right to return, I get oh, wait a minute. If I add, you know, so routinely, very quickly, I have, you know, 10, 15 products being piled into the shopping cart. And then what's the nice thing about Jet is Amazon's fulfilling it for me. So I'm not sitting back in my warehouse filling up this 40-pound box of stuff. It's all going to the customer via Amazon. Now, I don't know how long they'll do that, but I will still continue to do Jet either way, because of that big basket bonanza.
Yeah. Amazon fulfilling that for you. Are you using your software to conduct multi-channel fulfillment orders on Amazon?
Yes.
How is that working? Okay.
So it's pretty seamless from a software side. Once you've signed up and you've gotten approved, you come to us. We download your catalog off of Amazon. You do a little oversight because, you know, sometimes things on Amazon, maybe, you know, you've got the soap and lotion is actually listed under automotive for some reason. So you want to do a little quick view of your data and categorize it according to JET. And we do a lot of that for you. So about, you know, for the major categories, we've pretty much already translated this category equals this category on JET. It gets loaded, it gets approved, it gets sold. Two things happen. The first thing is JET tells you it's sold. So you get a notification. And the second thing that happens, it tells Amazon it's sold and tells Amazon to go fulfill the order and ship it out to the customer. Hands off, you don't touch anything. And this is the key to diversification and leveraging. You've already made the investment, right? You don't want to do, you want everything you can in this whole system of what you're doing to be as simple, seamless, and effortless as possible.
100%. And everyone, listen to what she just said. Listen to what she just said, you guys. I'm telling you, this is so key. One thing I noticed when we said at this interview, and when we said these interviews, you guys go to the calendar link, you fill out a few information that we'll talk about. You said the word scale. And my eyes went, scale. I love the word scale. Guys, you can't scale if you don't automate. And you can't automate if you don't create a freaking workflow on your whiteboard, figure out all the steps, and ask, where's the bottleneck? What's slowing me down? How do I optimize that? How do I make it work? Listen, you guys. I know some people have this mindset, hey, I work for this, you know, big, huge company. I'm tired of it. I'm going to go work for myself. I'm going to go buy some stuff from a yard sale. I'm not putting that down at all. My wife does this, and she's awesome at it. Just the other day, bought something for $2, sold it for $60 on eBay. It's incredible. But you have to think like a business person. You are running a legitimate business. And if it's not a legitimate business, Amazon is not going to reward you the way you want. Same with Jet and Walmart. In fact, Barb, I was just thinking about this. Amazon's changed so much in the last few years. For example, you used to be able to apply for a brand registry. You could apply without a trademark. You could literally get a brand registered and no trademark to that. Now you have to have a trademark. What does that tell me? Amazon wants every business owner on Amazon to run a business the way you would, with some exceptions, if you had a brick and mortar store, or you're like the way Nike would run it. Maybe not the same size, but it needs to be legitimate. Right. If you're going to do health products, guys, and you're going to do it without getting certifications or anything that goes on your skin or in your body, you need to go out and make sure there are no FDA issues. If you're doing a child's product, you need a CPC. Like, think through, how would a business owner do? You can't shortcut and cheat the process to get there faster, because what will happen is it'll bite you in the butt. Then you're stalled for a long time. Then you have to go back and start a bunch of stuff over. And when you lose time, you lose money. So you just touched on one of the closest things to my heart in business is automation. And you mentioned that. A bunch of questions, and then we're going to answer questions in the chat. One question is, how do you account for the fees? So the fees when you're selling on Jet versus if you're fulfilling it by Amazon, obviously there's fees there. Like, what is a practical way you make sure you're still profitable? Because obviously, when you're automated, your costs go up as well to automate it, but you still want to make a profit, so you're not just breaking even. Right. What advice do you have on that, Barbara?
So that's the thing about where scale comes in again as a factor, right? So if I have, and I do, 1,500 stuffed animals because I've got an exclusive with a company, or I've got 300 wholesale units, or I've got 20 RA items, I've got some varying level of scale. So my best bet is to make those 1,500, whatever I said, 320 get in and out as fast as I possibly can. And that's by doing a couple of things, distributing them across multiple platforms and having them sell, right? And I guess that's a couple things. So if I sell on Amazon and I make $10 profit, and I sell on eBay and I make $8 profit, and I sell on Jet and I make $9 profit, that's $17, the 9 and the 8, I didn't have when I only sold on Amazon.
Good point.
Because it's not the same eyeballs, it's different bodies, it's different. You know, sometimes it's the person who goes and looks in all these different places, but odds are, and I know, I can tell, that the person who bought on eBay paid $5 more. They did not look on Amazon because it was cheaper there. You know, I priced it up because there's a multi-channel fulfillment cost.
Right.
People who look at Walmart and look at Jet, you know, you have to stay in a tighter price parity on there because they are, the marketplaces themselves are comparing them.
Yeah.
But if I have an extra sale somewhere, that's one more unit that's moved, that's one more item that's sold, that's one more leverage and point on the scale that I'm putting into place that is pushing product out, right?
Yeah.
Best thing I can do is have a product that if it takes 4 months for the factory to make, the day it arrives, I order it again because in 4 months I'm out of stock.
Right.
So that's the perfect, to me, is a perfect cycle. So with multi-channel fees, you've got to keep in mind. So Jet, my order on Amazon is $25. My order on Jet is $200. Now they're not all like that, but you get the idea. When it's $200, I have to pay Amazon to fulfill that. But because there's that many more products, I don't get charged the per fee. Right.
In that per transaction. The thing is on Jet, people tend to have on Jet larger transactions than on Amazon, right?
Yeah, well, at least for my products, because they're complementary. In other cases, it may not be, and you can do certain things. So you can, on Amazon, we know we have to advertise now, so we know we've got that cost in there. We've got to keep that in mind. Right. On Jet, you might want to give a bulk discount, like if they buy 6 products, I'm going to give you 2% off or something like that to encourage you to keep buying more and more and more. But again, I'm going to get more bulk buys on Jet, and even if there are single buys, overall, I'm making more hard dollars. Now, if you're an RA and you have one leg out and you'd rather wait and sit with it to sell on Amazon because you're going to make $20, you're only going to make $18 or $17 on Jet because of the multi-channel fulfillment fees, I get that. But I think overall, in my mind, I'd still rather make the $17 today than wait a month to make the $22 or $20 on Amazon, in a week. I want to have as much everywhere as possible. Yeah. So I make as much money as quickly as possible.
What are your thoughts on this part? Because Jet is not as popular, it's not as well known. Everyone seems to buy on Amazon. A lot of people buy on eBay, but it's a different kind of person. They should make like a rap song about Amazon eBay people and pull out all the typical things. You
got the millennial cutting it. So where Walmart's trying to get Jet now is millennial, right? So what Amazon does not really have a good handle on right now is the premium customer. Mm-hmm. You can go in and buy premium brands, but they don't really have that vibe. They don't really have a place to put the higher end products. It's just like it's
equally, level playing field. It's not like you feel special if you're buying a high end product versus one.
Right.
Yeah.
In the way that if you're walking down the aisle with, I can't think of it, like the Dial soap, and right next for $4, and right next to it is 1 bar of soap for $72 because it's got miracles in it, but and it was made by small people under a bridge in like Eastern Turkey or something. Right. But that was weird. But that was that they're all aligned in the same place in Amazon, and what Walmart wants to do with Jet is make it a premier place. We've got organics, we've got really, if you want to get that pizza that you had in, they're just starting to do this, that pizza that you had in when you lived in New York, but now you live in LA and there's no good pizza anyplace else but New York, then you can order it, right? So they're trying to get this whole premium play in Jet. So if your target market is millennials, or your target market is people who are more, cool, that's where they're trying to position that. So the high-end stuff, the really cool, edgy, and it's not even edgy, it's just organic. Yeah.
It's unique. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Would you encourage people to start selling in Jet and Walmart for the simple fact that a lot of people aren't buying on, there's a lot of people buying on Jet, but comparatively not anything close to Amazon. So getting in now early before there's a lot of other sellers, do you think that has legitimacy to that argument?
And that's like really thinking about that. I think that it does. Whenever a new marketplace opens up that I think has any strategic play at all, I sign up immediately and get in there. As soon as I heard I could get on Walmart, it goes, ew, Walmart. I'm like, oh my God. There's this massive company. Would you love to make a product and put it on their shelf? There's
also rap songs about Walmart. We can do one about
yeah. Good pictures.
Versus Walmart. It'd be so funny. We can make fun of everybody.
Everybody put a little hat. Everybody can have different hats on. Exactly. But Walmart itself, they're upgrading the stores. They're upgrading their private label. The Walmart brand. I don't know what it is. Is it? whatever their product, I think it starts with a K, but whatever their Walmart branding is, their private label brand, they're upgrading the ingredients and the packaging. They're taking everything up a level. They're targeting it, you know, like, because they recognize that convenience, packaging, for a good price is very, very compelling. And even customers, some stores like, oh, I wouldn't sell in Walmart. They'd just be horrible. I'm like, they're customers. They're the same as any. You know, I've had some real winners on eBay, some real winners on Amazon, some real winners, not on Jet, because I don't deal with any customers on Jet. It's a sealed system. But on Walmart, I've had some interesting discussions insisting they wanted to return something for me they didn't buy from me.
There are crazy people who buy on eBay. I mean, some of the stuff like, hey, could you please split the shipment and I'll PayPal you the money and we'll go here and you do that.
Like, I don't even understand what you want me to do. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing gets.
They give you an offer and you say that's not enough money, and you're like, they yell at you and you're like, okay.
This is a business. It's okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, there's a bunch of questions here in the chat. And guys, thank you for these questions. Super helpful. So I'm just going to go through them. Give me 1 second while I scroll up. Okay. So, oh, and by the way, everyone, I just want you to know, Stephen Rakin Profit, he has an awesome YouTube channel. I think you've been on his channel. I saw you.
I have. Yeah.
So there's like this little community here. It's awesome. So I'm going to be on his show at 3 p.m. Central today. And immediately after this interview with Barbara, I'll be interviewing Andy Slamans, who also coaches Amazon stuff. And he will also be speaking at the summit. I just want to say real quick, you guys, 2 things. If you go to the summit, it's a very, very picky, hand-picked selection of a variety of people. I mean, just think about this interview right now. Barbara's bringing value I can't bring. She's teaching you guys stuff about Jet that I do not know. This is called differentiating myself, right? Bringing you guys value in other ways. When you bring different experts in different fields together and they all help, and then now think about this, guys. When we have a panel of Q&A at the summit where you can ask them any questions you want, it's going to be awesome. And think about the people who will be there, who you could consider. And I forgot to mention this last time. For those of you who are going to be there, make sure you think like this. There are potential investors at the summit who can help invest in your business. There are people going there with lots of money who don't have time to run a business, but they want to work with someone who has time and not money, and they will partner with you. So think about it like that, guys. This isn't just a conference you go to learn stuff, fill out a notepad, get a cute badge, and go home. This is a place to be a launching pad to succeed. And the people we bring in are there for a reason. We don't just get any speaker we can. We've had a ton of people asked to speak, and we've said no. We've gotten to a point where we don't need to, like, oh, please come here. Like, people are asking us, can I speak? Can I speak? And we picked Barbara over other people. You may not know this, Barbara, there were 2 other people vying for that position. We went with you. And I'm not saying that as flattery. I'm saying that because we like what you bring and the differentiation value and how down to earth you are. And we just really feel like you bring the just one dime vibe. It's hard to explain, but just the people.
I didn't know that. I feel very honored. I feel even more honored.
So I just want you guys to understand the heart behind that. And I'm super excited. And for those of you guys who are in Los Angeles, on December 15 and 16, I will be there. We're doing a 2-hour free mini conference. And guess what? I get to announce this now. Saad Basim. You guys know Saad? He's going to be there too, teaching with me. And we're going to give you everything we can those 2 hours. This isn't one of those, oh, let me tell you about my life and my personal story. No, we are going to teach you. We're going to train you. We're going to help you tactically as much as we can. It's 100% free. We're doing one in Los Angeles, and we're doing near LAX at the hotel there, Doubletree Hotel, and then another one in Orange County. So December 15, Los Angeles, December 16, Orange County. All the details, I'll send it to you guys later, but make sure you take advantage of that huge opportunity to meet other Just One Dime Warriors. We actually have so many people signed up. We have to get a bigger room now for Los Angeles. We're super excited. We just talked about this 3 days ago. So it's telling me people are looking for help. We will help you the best way we can. And Barbara's one of those kind of people who's going to help you. Just so you know, I don't get paid for this. She doesn't get paid for this. We enjoy doing this. Now, do we have businesses where we get paid? Absolutely. Legitimate businesses we run. But if even in this show, if this helps you guys to move forward, that's awesome. Okay, now I'm going to answer a bunch of questions, or I'll give you the questions as well. Okay, on a practical level, Barbara, can I start selling on Walmart a private label product that has the FNSKU printed on the package? Or do I need to modify the package and include a UPC code instead? The little label for going in Amazon's warehouse, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't see any problem with it at all. You will need to be, so Walmart is going to want you to have a UPC code because you're going to need to list. Getting one from like a Speedy Barcodes, which is a legitimate barcode seller, is good enough. You don't need to do anything fancy there.
Yep.
You should have, and honestly, if you're doing this, you should be thinking a little bit further down the road. I don't know if you're trademarking or whatever, but you should probably what if you want to start selling this beyond, like, this is something that we're all in this online world, so we think it's the be all end all, but we are such a tiny little nit on the back of commerce. And maybe in 10 years it'll change and will be much more significant. But online commerce is so small. Your product could really take off on Amazon, and you could have and I don't know what it is, but you could have a Bed Bath & Beyond coming to your door and saying, "Hey, we'd like to do a sample." Oh, well, I kind of need UPC codes.
Yeah.
So
very good. So you need a UPC code, and remember too, CBiz, that the FNSKU label is for Amazon's warehouse. So with Jet, there's not a warehouse you're sending your stuff into. Your stuff is in Amazon's warehouse, but when someone buys on Jet, Amazon's sending it. Right, Barbara?
Mm-hmm.
So that FNSKU is specific to Amazon and their warehouse only. You don't have to worry about the warehouse label for Jet because there is no warehouse. They just have to be able to identify that product to you. And so the product identifier is the UPC. Question on this, we've had so much discussion. For the longest time, I bought my UPC codes at eBay. Now Amazon's starting, they're not cracking down, they're saying, hey, you need to buy ones. Like they've always let me use ours, no issue. But they're now saying you need to buy ones that are registered with GS1 and all that. Do you have any thoughts on that? Any opinions on the best way? There's Speedy Barcodes. There's all these different opinions. I would love to hear yours on this topic.
So I default to Lisa Satora, somebody's group I belong to. So I know a lot. I'm a rule of thumb person. Yeah. And then I have a couple friends who are letter of the law people. So I always ask the letter of the law people. The Speedy Barcodes, eBay ones are not registered. The Speedy Barcodes are registered with GS1. And if Amazon were to look up those barcodes, and there's a few other ones, they would actually see them being there and being live. And you get a certificate showing that it's yours and it's dedicated. Those numbers are dedicated to you.
Right.
So those are A-okay. Now, for my private label brands, as they develop more and more and get more and more footing, I will go and get the GS1 codes. But GS1 codes are not only initially expensive, they have to be renewed every year. And to do a product that you're not wholly invested in, it's just like, oh, well, I'm just going to do, selling this for a while. It needs a code, whatever, it doesn't have one. Right. I would use the Speedy Barcodes.
Yeah, to start off. That's very helpful. Thank you, Robert. Nicholas says, can you sell sexual wellness products on Jet?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. And
that's the full extent of my knowledge of sexual wellness products.
Rifster says, Nicholas, you and your toys. Are the beauty products that you sell, are they arbitrage or are they private label on Jet?
The ones that I sell are, of the above. So our private label is ours. Our arbitrage ones obviously came from the stores, but we don't do too much of that. We do a lot of wholesale.
Okay. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start on wholesale? Like, hey, Barbara, I've been doing private label, but doing arbitrage. I'm interested in wholesale. Where would they start?
I think it was scary the first time I got, and I'm not a 20-year-old child. I've battled with some major CEOs and CFOs and stuff about results, and I had to go to a trade show for the first time, and I was like, oh. But I found it was. But I found, well, first off, you have to recognize they're people, and I found that I just asked a lot of questions. So I would go up to a booth and I would say, can you tell me a little bit about your products? And they would tell me a little bit about their products. So use it. Maybe you don't buy anything. You don't have to commit. You don't have to do anything but get educated. Right. Go from booth to booth. They see something you like, ask them some questions. How does it work? What's your minimum opening order? In fact, we made, I don't know if you can see this, my trade show journal. we made a book. I actually made this so when I go to a trade show, I have all my questions in front of me. And I'll actually put the business, I'll put a business card there and I'll do all that so that when I'm talking to them, I'm taking notes and it gives me some credibility. I look serious. I'm asking all these right questions. But I just keep asking more questions. I'll even say, like, do you sell to Amazon sellers? Oh, no, we don't let it go on Amazon. I don't walk away. I ask another question. I'm like, well, what is your issue with Amazon or Walmart or Jet or whatever? Oh, well, we think, there's, and they'll tell me the reason. And then I'll ask them another question. And in the time, and on the one hand, I'm learning a lot about their company and investing time. And you'll find when you invest time in anyone, they start to feel obligated to make that pay somehow.
Sure.
Very rarely does anyone at a trade show tell you to, get lost or walk away.
Right.
They're like ridiculously polite.
Yeah.
So you can just learn. That's how I would suggest.
Go to a trade show to get familiar with the companies who do offer it wholesale. Okay, that's very helpful.
But even more, you're starting to build a relationship. So by going to the trade show and having the rep come out to see me and having do that, we have over a dozen products that are major branded, like a major name brand, that we own exclusively. So it's like the best of all worlds on private label.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
But that's from relationships. So.
DatPad says, I'd just like to say I'm at school right now listening to this and the bell rung. I'll have to listen to it later. That's very cool. He's at school. Very cool. Barbara, can you be a sole proprietorship on Walmart and Jet? And I think he's referring to not having.
I believe I'm not 100% certain on Jet. I know on Walmart you have to have an LLC. You have to have a federal tax ID number.
Okay, that's good to know. And it's not that hard to get it. We actually have, hey Alex, we have in the start videos for Just One Dime, step-by-step exactly how to do that. But you still have to go to your state to get more details because every state's going to vary in the US. So trademarking, Mr. Sergio, is not a must to start, but for Amazon, but is a must for getting your brand registered. Yes. Mary says, Barbara, I'm selling fashion jewelry in Walmart, Jet, Sears. Our sales rate is really low. Are you offering coaching services?
We do coaching. I'd be happy to talk to her and see what it is that we can help her do better. Absolutely.
Awesome. What is the best way for her to get a hold of you, Barb? Your website, an email? Just keep in mind this is public.
Okay, yeah. Here's my home phone number. Don't answer it anyway. I'm not sure why we have one. If you Barbara at Merchant Minds, MERCHANTMINDS.com.
Barbara at merchantminds.com. Perfect. I'm going to copy it, and then when I get to the end of the chat, I'm going to paste it here so you guys can email her.
Okay.
Joe says, does Amazon stop shipping if your account gets flagged? Thus, if you're using Amazon to fulfill for Jet, would you still be able to ship your Jet orders?
Yes. Now we used to be able to do it seamlessly. If you get suspended now, I believe you have to do a multi-channel fulfillment order, but you can still do that.
Yep. I was banned from Amazon even before listing a product for using a second email for selling instead of the one I have for buying. Are Jet and Walmart a good opportunity for me to be online? And real quick before you answer, I'm going to share this. Excuse me. Frederico, I want to encourage you. Amazon bans people fast and quick, and you are guilty until proven innocent, the opposite of the American justice system. Do not give up. What you need to do is provide them with exactly what they need. You need to bug the heck out of them, do everything through email like CJ Rosenbaum recommended, so there's a paper trail. We've had numerous people on our team. They open an account, and they're like, I got banned in 24 hours. This is welcome to my experience at Amazon. And every single time I have seen them get their account unbanned. Some it took 2 months, some it took 2 weeks, some it took 2 days. The key thing is you don't want to do anything iffy. Like don't log in Europe for a UK account, then come over to the US and log in. To them, that's a huge issue. Like, oh my goodness, this is a hacker, so boom. Or if there's one number off on your credit card or your zip code or whatever, something off when you're putting in your information, they flag that. Their system does. There's not a person there sitting there going, that's suspicious, get them, you know? Yeah. They're just super aware that there's so many people jumping in.
Kill you.
Exactly, so just be careful with that. But anything you want to add to that, are Jet and Walmart a good opportunity to be online is what Federico is asking.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be doing this and I wouldn't be telling people to do it if I didn't 100% believe you've got to be diversified. You've got to have, I tell my kids to have a backup plan to their backup plan. So whatever it is you want to do,
Yeah.
it's not always going to work out. So you need to have a way to pay for it. You need to have a way to keep yourself from, going crazy. And again, back to scaling and leverage, those are two key words that if you can take what you're doing and be smart about it, you don't go crazy.
Yep, absolutely. Is there a monthly subscription, Barbara, cost on Jet? And if so, how much?
So there is no, Jet does not charge you to have a monthly, they don't charge you a fee like Amazon does. But you do need an API, which is essentially a seller central interface, which they don't provide. So you have to go to a service like ours or one of our competitors in order to list things. In Walmart, they don't charge a fee either. And you can do some flat file listing on Walmart, so you can do that, but they don't let you know when you have a sale. You have to check every day and a couple times a day to see if there's something there. And fulfill it. So it's kind of kludgy, but yeah, neither of them charge a fee. And in some cases, the fees for what you sell on there are significantly lower. Like gourmet grocery on Jet is half the fee that it is on Amazon. And I believe there's cheaper fees on Walmart for things that they're really interested in getting, like more electronic sellers and home goods sellers.
Right. So the fees are primarily from the transaction itself.
Yes.
Got it. And keep in mind too, everyone, that when you're selling an Amazon FBA, you're also paying for the storage fees. So you're paying for them to fill the order. So those fees are naturally going to be higher, which is really nice if you think about it. So if you have Jet products, Walmart products on Jet and Walmart, Amazon's fulfilling it, most of your overhead costs for the transactions are over here, and you're only paying a transaction fee here, but here you're paying transaction fee and everything else along with it, like the storage, the fulfilling. So it's not like these costs are going to equal these, which makes total sense. Greg says, Barbara, what's wholesale? How would you explain it?
You cut out. I don't know the word was. Say that question again.
Greg says, Barbara, what is wholesale? How would you explain that?
Oh, wholesale is leveraging somebody else's time and effort so you can find wholesale is basically wholesale is anybody who manufactures product and sells it at a price. They don't deal with retail people. They don't deal with the person coming in the store or the person who buys one unit. So when you do retail, you don't go in and say, I'll have one of these and one of those, one of these. You'll say, I'll have a case of that, and I'll take usually the minimum orders or the first time I went in, I thought they were going to be thousands of dollars, and they're like $300. I'm like, I can do a minimum $300 order. That's fine. And so, except for one, I talked to, the minimum order was $15,000. I was like, I don't think so. So you basically are the reason the wholesalers will give you a discounted price is because you're going to buy more product and hopefully make a business of it and come back again and again and again.
Yeah, a good example of that would be, well, kind of. This is more. It's not really network. I'll just share it. So LuLaRoe is a good example. So my wife has a lot of friends. They're sellers from LuLaRoe. They have to buy a minimum order quantity at a wholesale cost from the manufacturers. Then they individually sell those retail, but they do it through their own means, their own online marketplaces and stuff like that. So that way, LuLaRoe, the company, isn't selling it to the customer. There's a middleman who's buying.
It's a distributor, right?
Exactly, distributor who's buying it at a discount, then selling it for a higher price. If that helps.
So they have to buy a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big investment. It's like $6,000 minimum or something.
Yeah.
Eliezer says, Barbara, do you have a contact number for Walmart Marketplace?
You mean to apply for it?
I think that's what she.
I think it's marketplace.walmart.com off the top of my head.
Okay. All right.
I'll on the screen and see if I can get it. Oops.
No problem. Barb, so let's do this. So I'm going to post your email here so people can contact you. There's her email, everyone. And what website would you like me to post? The co-merchant, the other one for everyone, if they have questions about coaching services, if they have questions about your software.
I think the easy thing is there's more information tab on co-merchant. So www.comerchant, COMERCHANT.com. And if you want to know where to sign up for Walmart or Jet, just give me an email or contact me through there, through the more information tab, and I'll be happy to get it back to you.
Awesome.
And any other questions anyone has.
Very cool. Hey, everyone, go to that website, check it out. What Barb does is she can help you differentiate. She also provides coaching services if you guys are looking to sell on these different platforms. Check out the link I just sent for software for automating this, which is huge. And Barbara, thank you so much for taking time to be here today. Really looking forward to meeting you in person in Las Vegas. And everyone, I'll include the link one more time. There's the link to the summit in Las Vegas. If you guys haven't signed up yet, do it soon. It's filling up fast, and we're super excited. Yeah, I could go on and on. But Barbara, have an awesome rest of your day.
You too.
What was that new? Oh, corporocracy. So I'm gonna look forward to hearing you use that word now. Or you could.
Corporocracy, also known as bullshit. Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye bye.